What have you been reading? Is it The Penguin?
I have been reading The Penguin.
Should we talk
the
about
TV
The
series The
Penguin?
Penguin? I mean,
But people will be upset if we don't talk about it
yes,
enough.
but I've been. I could talk about some other stuff.
All right, so let's not talk about The Penguin.
No, let's definitely talk about The Penguin.
Okay.
Should we talk about The Penguin? No, we'll talk about it now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Talk about it now.
It was incredible.
Good show, right?
Where was Batman, though?
That's a great question.
Shouldn't he
isn't it?
turned up and punched the Penguin?
I think he was probably scared.
Yeah, he probably
of
was
the
scared
penguin.
of the Penguin.
You know?
Also, he did recently get shot.
That's true. He's probably taken some time to recover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you expecting him to show up even though they said that he wasn't going to show up?
No, I think this show deliberately avoided any other references, but I people on the internet have speculated there were some other comic book references that got taken out.
The
We'll talk
Jonathan
about that.
Crane
Yes, exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, I think the idea behind this was to prove it could be done without endless references to the previous thing. And also, I think it was pretty much a triumph in having a genuinely unlikable protagonist who remains unlikable, and in fact, it gets worse. But you can still enjoy the whole thing, because I think there is a thing that is happening recently in fiction and TV series and comic books and fanfic and all sorts of stuff and video games or what have you, where people have got the idea that a character shouldn't be flawed. Like a main character shouldn't be flawed. They should,
or if they are, this because of this thing that happened to them.
Exactly, yeah. But this is a series about a guy who is unrepentantly in it for himself.
And then you flash back and you're like, oh, this will give some insight into why he's like this. Like, oh no, he was just...
It's just always pretty, he got a parking ticket one time and he's like, well, I'd better kill both my brothers.
Yeah.
What
I guess we're doing spoilers.
We're doing spoilers for this, I think, yeah. But I mean, if you've got Max, or in Australia, if you've got Bonge.com, then you can definitely watch this. It's out there for you, and every episode's out there.
Yeah.
Great cast.
Incredible.
We've talked about this, but the idea that originally Colin Farrell was just going to be Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
But then they did a makeup test, and he looked great as
he's sweating away in this thing, like the skin on it.
Yeah. And the fact that it's a full body thing for the most part. I imagine less so when he's clothed.
Oh yeah, he's like padded up.
But there was a version where he's naked sometimes, and it's kind of
the penguin penis. You know about this?
No.
Maybe I talked about when I was on the tour, Mason, when I went to Europe.
Oh yes.
But they gave him a little, because there's a scene where he's naked, and they gave him a little penis with a little beak on the end, like a penguin apparently.
Okay, that's true. Like a penguin would have.
Like a penguin has.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, Colin Farrell's great. Kristen Milotti is great as, a woman who was not the hangman until everybody accused her of being the hangman. And then she's like, I'll be the best hangman that I could possibly be.
She's
actually
so incredible in everything. Just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Probably will turn up in other Batman-related things, I'd imagine.
Yes. Yeah.
She's now the head of a couple of crime families, it would say. Or was. You had to run at it, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just phenomenal.
I wonder if, and again, we're in full spoiler mode.
Yeah.
So because, at the end it's revealed that when she was in prison, she was mostly completely alone, or not in prison, it was prison mental asylum,
etc.
Yeah. But she did get a letter from Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
So is that going to lead into the Batman Part 2? Or,
maybe.
Or are we going to save that for a subsequent thing?
Yeah.
A team up between the two lovely ladies
sisters.
of Gotham. They are sisters, yeah.
What do you think about John Turturro being replaced?
Johnny Tutoots? I mean, he was busy.
He was busy. He said he didn't want to do it because he didn't like the idea of the violence against women aspect, but in the Batman, like, he chokes like Selena Kyle nearly to death.
Well, maybe he didn't like that after that.
Maybe he didn't like it. That's okay. You're allowed to change your mind. But Mark Strong takes over.
Yep.
I thought he did a really good job, but I think it would have been nice to have Turturro return. Shades is in this.
Yeah, so that's
as the Scarecrow.
Well, so that's Theo Rossi, who was Shades in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And people have said, well, there's two notes to this. I saw people on the internet say, why would you get that guy if he's not going to be somebody, i.e. be a notable comic book character of supervillain or something, etc. And I would say, first of all, even a superhero show or a supervillain show needs, mundane, regular human being characters. So why not get a guy who's worked in this sort of stuff before, knows how it works, he's good at it, he's compelling.
Yeah.
But also, supposedly the rumor is, and I didn't go back to watch this, but in episode 4, there's a scene in his offices, and supposedly you can see on his desk what looks like a Scarecrow mask and the Scarecrow syringe glove, akin to the one that the Scarecrow wears in the Arkham games.
Yeah.
And so supposedly it's that this character, as a psychiatrist, was originally the actor was originally cast as Jonathan Crane.
Yeah.
But I guess they were like, and I completely understand this. If that is true, it's understandable that they wanted to pull back from that. Because otherwise you're also there going like, oh, when's he going to put the mask on? When's he going to do blah, 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 you know? Is he going
to get his own TV show?
Are we going to team up with the Penguin or blah, blah, blah? And again, they could very easily just say he's working under an assumed name. He is Jonathan Crane, and they could make him the Scarecrow later if they wanted to. I also suspect, even though it's been 2008, 15 years, 16 years, that people still probably like, we just got a Scarecrow.
Oh, maybe,
kind of thing, you know, and they probably
and we didn't just get a Penguin, did we?
No,
we haven't Penguins since Danny DeVito.
Exactly. So I suspect they're probably like, we'll give that character a rest.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah. Who else is good in this?
God, let's look at this car. Oh, well, he's little sidekick guy.
Oh yeah. Again, speaking of, because his name's Vic.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are like, oh, does that mean Victor Zsasz? Does that mean Victor Freeze? Is he going to turn? No, it turns out he's just a dead guy now.
Yeah, just a guy
he's just a guy that that tried his best in a bad situation.
Just wanted to be the Penguin.
Yeah, just to, make it out of the horrible neighborhood that that he lived in that was destroyed, and make something of himself. And then he sacrificed.
And he does it all.
Yeah, and he helps. He helps out, and he lies, and he cheats, and he hides bodies, and he shoots a guy, and all this sort of stuff. And he gives up on this girl that he likes because he wants to make something of himself and support his friend the Penguin. And what's he get out of it? Choked to death.
That's right.
Yeah. For real, for good, forever?
I think he's dead.
Yes.
Yeah. It was brutal. It was really difficult to watch.
Yeah.
I thought Deirdre O'Connor...
There's a small chance.
Yeah, I guess.
Like there's a tiny...
It doesn't feel like it's that kind of show.
No, it doesn't. It feels like he'd come back like Salamanca in Breaking Bad, in a wheelchair with a bell.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
Yeah. Or maybe he'll come back as Victor Freeze. I don't know.
He might.
Maybe he'll become Mr. Freeze. I don't know.
Deirdre O'Connor plays the older Francis Cobb, who's... So he's Oz Cobb.
He's Oz Cobb, yes.
So his mother, who obviously raised him and knew he was a psychopath from a very early age.
And like, let's use this.
Incredible performance. Or both of them, because there's a younger version of her as well. And the kid who plays the Penguin, God, I don't have his name in front of me either, but he was phenomenal as a little Oz Cobb. And
as I mentioned earlier at the start of this, just the idea, because when we talked about, recently we talked about the first couple of episodes when they came out, and you think, initially you look at this character of the Penguin, and you go, okay, well, he's got a bad leg, and he's got the scars on his face, and but he's too proud to admit that he has, that he's not, that he's different from anybody else, and and you
think you're better than me,
exactly, and you see him do like small acts of kindness, like buy Vic a sandwich or whatever, or you give people in his neighborhood money or what have you, and you go, oh, and he's got some relatable stuff, and you go, oh, okay, this guy actually isn't so bad.
Worked his way up. And...
Yeah. But then over this series of episodes, like your opinion drops of him.
Yeah.
In your estimation of him drops very significantly. I think Colin Farrell said in an interview, by the last episode, you'll hate him.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you mean that by the standards of like a Spider-Man or what have you, where you go, oh, he didn't respect his mother, or whatever, or like he's not an absolute golden boy, so you'll hate him.
Yeah.
But no, it's just
horrible.
Yeah, that's right.
He's horrible, and I think it's not so much he doesn't get worse. He's just like that.
Right.
And you just find out more about it as you go.
Yeah. It is, and sort of him and Sofia have sort of parallel stories, I guess, in their youth, in that they're both to some degree products of their family, and like they're, just trauma upon trauma heaped upon them, and they've both turned out great.
They're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine and good.
They're fine.
I did like how she killed her whole family.
Well, it was fun, wasn't it?
That was cool and fun. Would you recommend The Penguin to me?
Given that you've already seen it?
Yeah.
And our opinions seem to be about the same?
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, you should check it out. Yeah.